since this is an open event, it's a public event. I saw some foreigner register for this event as well. So would you mind give them some introduction of yourself, please?
Of course. My name is Yod นะครับ I'm 40 now. I started Wongnai when I was 27, so 13 years ago in 2010, July. I think I started with another 3 co-founders, so 4 co-founders. At that time, I think it was just a website that is a user-generated reviews for restaurants. I think that's how we started. Of course, at that time, I think we didn't have any vision. Basically, we just 4 people with engineering background trying to build the best product that we that we want to use. I think that's basically the idea. So yeah, I think we can talk about a journey, but then truth be told, I think when you are that small, we didn't have much vision. We just went with what we can do. Yeah.
I see, but may I ask why? I mean, back in the day when you start this business, Wongnai, right? Why you select this industry? Is it from your passion or what is your interest back then?
I think it's a combination of things. I think, of course, to be honest, I think before I started Wongnai, I went to the States, got some master's degree. At that time in the States, there were websites like Yelp.com, TripAdvisor. When we traveled to Japan, then we saw Tabelog.com, and then we when we went to like Hong Kong, there's OpenRice.com. So there's a lot of websites around the world that do food reviews, user-generated reviews from the users. So we came back to Thailand and say, hey, like why didn't Thailand has any user-generated review website? It must be a good idea because food is for everyone, and we need to eat 3 meals a day, no matter who you are. So that's actually the market size. But then because we were so young, we didn't know what's TAM, what's total addressable market. We didn't care, right? We just know that it's food, so it must be big. Everyone needs to eat it, and then it's successful in other countries. So why don't we do it? So it's very simple. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, and Thai people, I mean, our culture is to eat, to find something to eat. And in Thailand, we do have a lot of foods and like the variety of food, I would say, like Japanese food or Chinese food or European, Middle East, lots of food. Yeah, so this industry have a lot of things that we can done, right? We can get it done. Okay, so back in the day, when you start your journey of Wongnai, how you navigate the early challenges? I want to say like the key challenges you faced during that day.
The key challenges that we faced during the early days, there was not a lot of people who are using our product and services. So that's the first challenge because we are a platform in a way. So you need more people to create content so that content attracts more people. So it's a bit chicken and egg because it's a user-generated platform. So you need people to generate content, but then without content you cannot attract people. So how do we get out of that loop, right? So it's just basically it needs time and it needs some virality impact. So I think in the first 2 years when we were only a website, it was very difficult to find that catalyst, if you may, until like smartphones came in around 2012. People started using iPhone and Android more. At that time, I remember that during one Songkran, we climb up the chart to be one of the top charts. Wow. Because people are using us when they go outside of Bangkok and find something to eat. Then it started snowballing. We got more people added more restaurants, and it attracts more people. We show up on Google search results, so it attracts more people. So we started to have this positive network effect. But before then, the first 2 years, there were just not a lot of users, right? So we were just hanging on because without users, you cannot have a business model. You can make money, right? And at that time, but then P-Mod wasn't around to help us at that time. Like no investor at all. So we had to bootstrap, right? We had to use our own money to just survive. Basically, we didn't have enough money, so we need to borrow it from our family and stuff like that. And then we need to also, doing a software house thing where we need to write software for others just to survive. So those are the first 2 years. The main problem is that there's not enough users, therefore there's no revenue for us. And then there was also no investor.
I see. Oh, I would like to add something on that. Since I'm from Thailand, right? So, in case of some of you, especially for the people who are not from Thailand, Thai people, we are pretty shy mostly, I would say, but we are not shy when we are on the internet, right? So we like to comment, we like to do a review, do a blog. A lot of things happen on the internet, but not in the real world. So Wongnai appear on that situation as well. Yeah. So it gave us like, okay, we got some place that we can like share our experience on it. We don't like to talk to our friend because we are afraid that okay, it might go wrong, something like that, but we are not afraid to comment on the internet. That's why it go viral very fast, and that's why you call it networking effect, right? Right. Okay. So from that situation back then that you have to bootstrap your startup by like self-fund, what are the crucial lessons you wish you knew then? Yep.
Well, I guess the biggest lesson was that like do not give up. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway, because if we gave up, then we wouldn't have been here. But then I think a lot of people also ask, like, how do you know not to give up, right? Like, is this just that belief that you have in your idea and that mindset that you have together with your team that you could do better than this? Like, so call it stubbornness or something, right? Like, if you're too stubborn with the wrong idea, maybe you cannot take care of your family. But then I think we were stubborn, and then the idea was also kind of correct as well. That's why we kind of pushed through. So like, there's no special, silver bullet that we did in order to be here. It's just a length of time that we spend on improving the product and services and to build a team and push through all those obstacles. I think that's one very important takeaway. So I always say that maybe I'm not smarter than a lot of people, but then I'm pretty sure I'm ทนกว่า I'm more solid. I mean, I'm more resilient than most of the people. I think I would say that's quite important. Yeah.
And another reason is that it came from your passion, right? That's why you don't give up. You didn't give up, and you try to find a way to make it alive.
I would think it's partly true. I mean, passion it's a word that is not in the trend anymore. But then, yeah, I think let's say your energy. How do you manage your energy to go through all those length of time and hardships, right? I think that's important, right? That it can come from passion, or it can come from stubbornness. It can come from belief. It can come from your team. It can come from many things. It doesn't have to be only passion. Passion could be part of it, right? Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, totally agree. Okay, next questions I want to ask Kun Yot, but I want you to think like, okay, this is Kun Yot 6 years ago, right? Okay, back then, like 6 to 10 years ago, in maybe 2012, when the smartphone came in, I would like you to share about the specific growth strategy or the tactic that work exceptionally well for a startup in the early stage.
In the early stage, right? Well, let's say, I think you have to be, first of all, I think you have to be in the right market first. I think that's one of the most important decisions early on, whether you are in the right market or not, right? So we picked the food market. And then when we merged with Line Man, we are still in the food market, which we determined, at that time we were smarter. So we determined this is big enough. Food market is quite big in Thailand. It's like 30 billion, almost 30 billion annual, on consumption of food in Thailand, right? Outside of home, right? So you have to be in the right market because if you're in a not so big market, then it's quite difficult to be a startup. This is a startup scene, right? So you want to be big. That's a given. So you have to be in the right market. So that one decision, I think it's quite important. You put yourself into the right market first. And then secondly, I think you don't even know, you cannot predict the future, right? You don't know if, at that time, 2010, I didn't know if smartphone will come or not. In fact, I didn't even know if iPhone and Android would win because at that time, we did the app for actually 4 platforms. Including BlackBerry phone, which is now gone, and then Windows phone, which is also now gone. It means that we actually put our eggs in 4 baskets, in 4 horses, and then 2 horses win, which is iPhone and Android. But we were there. We were not selective. We were like, okay, we have to place bets. So just ensure you're ready when luck comes, right? You can say, oh, it's luck, but it's actually not luck because we actually made an app for all the platforms so that if one platform wins, then I mean, if BlackBerry ended up winning, then we would still be here, right? So, for example, and then a lot of people also said to us that, oh, you were lucky to merge with Line Man before COVID came. We didn't know COVID would come, but we already knew that food delivery was going to be big. So COVID was just a fast forwarder to make food delivery, grew faster. But then without COVID, food delivery would still grow and have the same penetration, but maybe a little bit slower. But then we actually made ourselves to be there when luck came, right? Like, so when the wave comes, so ensure you're on the surfboard, not on the water. So that's important. I think those are the second, decision that you could make. So first decision, be in the right market, and second decision is you don't know the future, so just ensure you are ready if luck comes and you are on that surfboard to ride the wave. Yeah.
I see. One thing I would like to add more on that, I'm not sure if you have heard about this, but I heard that luck is not something that we cannot manage. When you do a lot of business, when you know that area already like perfectly, you can manage the luck. It's like you prepare yourself and be ready for any time. And like Kun Yao said, when the luck hits, you are ready to tackle them, something like that. And another core thing that I'm not sure if I get it right, but I think what is the core strength of MAN Wongnai is that your adaptability skill, right? You can fit into any area, any culture. It's like you diversify your risks. You put the egg on multiple baskets, and let's see like which basket wins. So you can be at another situation as well. All right. So next questions I would like to ask about talking about the adaptability. I would like to ask about adapting to the market dynamics. So in Thailand, market landscape is quite unique. So how did you adapt your business model to align with the local market dynamics?
I think that's quite important. I think there are certain businesses that are less localized. So I would say search, chat, social media, anything that is like completely over the air, it's probably less localized. But then once you need to talk to a lot of people, walk the ground, have a lot of sales, have a lot of riders, doing a lot of operations, it's then become more localized. I think that's why, for us, I think we do well for like the B2B angle of working with the restaurants, selling POS, working with the riders, doing food delivery. These things are kind of semi-localized. We can do things that cater toward the market more. So how do we do that? I think it's having a local team is quite important. I think we have of course the founding team from the Wongnai days. We have the developers that are here in Thailand. We have the headquarters here in Thailand. So we try to use that as an advantage when we fight with other players. And actually all our competitors are actually bigger than us, and also most of them are global and regional players. So in order to fight with the bigger guys, you don't fight with power, you fight with speed and agility. So we are actually have to use that to our advantage. Yeah.
I see. So know your strength and utilize it well. That's the key, right? Okay. So for the next angle of sharing, I would like you to share about something that is so famous for MAN Wongnai, which is about the team and the talent, right? Back in the day, building a team is so essential. So in forming your initial team, so what qualities were essential for fostering the culture and innovation and adaptability in your team?
I think culture itself is something that is changing really fast. We are not the same we do not uphold the same culture as our businesses change. So at the very beginning, I think when we were at Wongnai days, at that time we do a lot of content business. So we are user-generated content, but at the same time, we also have to, nurture the community. We also need to do some, advertisement business for our clients and stuff like that. So at that time, what's important is creativity. It's being fast, but at the same time, being passionate is also important. And also, being result-oriented is kind of important because we are still in tech. But then those are kind of the culture that is important at that time. So the meaning of culture is actually what is important. What do you think is important, right? So at that time, what's important is to be passionate, to be creative, to have, to have speed, to be like, to have passion, right? So, but then as our businesses change, I think once we merge with MAN, we are in food delivery. I think the idea of what's important changed quite a bit. So being fast is still important. Being result-oriented is still important. But then maybe being passionate and being creative is now less important than being data-oriented and being detail-oriented. And I think the other thing that came up when we are a three-sided platform is that to respect stakeholders are also important, right? Because right now it's like one decision making can affect hundreds of thousands of lives on the street or even among the merchants. So the values and what we think is important and the culture is evolving, right? And then when we acquired more companies, for example, this year we just acquired Food Story, we acquired Line Pay, for example. Now we are entering into a new business, which is a B2B side of the merchant solution and also the payment services. The core values may change again, the culture may change again, but then I don't know yet what's it going to be, right? Like we have to kind of, it's not my job to define it, right? I think that what's important is once we work and we do it and we know this works, we know this project is important and this is a key success factors of doing this business, then it will kind of define our culture. So we are in the process of understanding that and see if our culture is adapting again after we enter into new businesses. So for me, culture should be inside out rather than just top down.
I see.
It's not up to me to just say, hey, just tomorrow we'll just change our culture to this. No, it doesn't happen that way. So we have to work, we have to look at each other and see, oh, now this is important. This is less important. So the culture is changing. So there's a one sentence that I like quite a lot is that don't fix culture, fix results. Like when there are problems, fix results, and then how do you fix results that will actually
it becomes a culture.
It becomes a culture. Like you don't just say, hey, you have to be more. I don't know. If I say to you, oh, you have to be more innovative, would you just suddenly become more innovative?
Right,
no, right? Like it's just you need a common experience to actually teach culture. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to teach someone with a culture, but yeah, culture change over time. And when it change, you just know that, okay, after we know what kind of people we need to have, and then we find that kind of people. It's like put the right man to the right job. I knew that you have been interviewing a lot of employees back in the day. Can you share us? I just thought about this question and want to know, like, okay, what are the top 3 questions you would like to ask the interviewee when you want to interview the employees?
Well, I'm going to generalize a little bit because we have question banks, so I can just look at the questions and pick any. But then we actually look for, when we look for people, we look for 3 or 4 things. So let's say we look for skills, like can they do the job, right? That's important. And then we look for potential, meaning like if things change and like how can this person grow? Like how can this person change and grow to the ever-changing roles or not, right? Like ability to learn and adapt and grow. And then third thing is of course the fit, right? So if this person is good, but then it doesn't fit with the culture, with the company. Like we need people who are fast, we need people who are data oriented, but then maybe he's good in his job, but then he's not in the fit with the team, then maybe it's more difficult for us. And then finally we look at the mindset, right? So whether or not, let's say we want to sit beside him on a plane or not, basically, like, or is he just a big asshole that we cannot just accept, right? Does he have a growth mindset? Like how is his bringing up, right? Like is he a decent person or not? Like these are the things that we look at. So the question depends on what position, and then if he's already tested in some of these angles or not. So if it's a programmer, right? Of course, skills is very important. Right. So a lot of questions and a lot of tests will have to be on the skill side. But if he's a middle manager, then a lot of potential questions, because his role will change, right? Like projects will change. He'll get assigned to many projects. Mm-hmm. So we need him to be very adaptable and be able to grow. So a lot of questions will be revolving around that. It also depends on like. What's the process of the interview, right? Like if I'm the final round, which frequently I am, then I don't have to test the skills so much, because the first rounders will already test the skills, and then maybe not the fit, because the people team will have already check the fit. So I pretty need to check the mindset a lot, because okay, then I will start talking about the some other things outside of work, like okay, what do you do when you're free time and stuff like that, which tells quite a lot about the person, right? So those questions maybe it's my privilege to ask, because hopefully other rounds already ask a lot of tough questions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it let them like be free and be themselves when they talk to you, right? When you talk about something besides of the hard skill. So in order to recruit or screen the talent, you will have to know both of soft skill and hard skill as well. And that's how Kun Yod elicit the requirement of those things. Yeah, thank you so much. And so that's how MAN Wongnai keep an awesome people on his team. Since we talk a lot, and I would like you to leave the audience of some piece of advice from a story that from your journey. Like what advice or what wisdom would you like to impart to them for the early stage startup?
Well, for the early stage startup, I think again I will repeat the same thing first. So I think being in the right market is very important. If that's one good decision that you make early on, is you should be in the right market, right? I think the second thing is that I want to say do not give up, but then at the same time you have to be in the right market first, right? And you have to have the right team. And then if you believe that you have the right team and you have the right market, then do not give up would be also very important for me to advise, because I think you never know, right? You never know when the wave will come, and you have to be ready when you are there. And then, but finally, I think self-awareness is also very important, right? Like I think to be able to afford stubbornness, then you have to know how you are doing, right? Like is it real? Like if someone pitches today and won the first prize competition, then don't be too glad. At the same time, if you didn't win, then don't be too down, because it is a competition, but at the same time, your self-awareness is pretty more important, right? Like a lot of successful startups may come from the ones that don't even win the competition or not in the competition at all, right? So know yourself. I think that's very important. Yeah.
Right, that's so cool, and it's related to this event as well, right? This event, the pitching competition is not about winning or losing. It's about experience and grow yourself. I mean, internally and self-awareness. That's the key, yeah, to drive the business. คุณยอด from MAN Wongnai, thank you very much.